Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast. This episode, I'm going to be recapping Rani Takes on the World, The Revenge of Wormwood, The Ghost of Bannerman Road, which was released in December 2023, and I'm recording this episode about a year and a half later on the 28th of May 2025. So, actually, before I get into my recap, if you want to see the trailer for Rani Takes on the World, The Revenge of Wormwood, please go and check out the end of yesterday's episode. Because that's where I'll show it. Without further ado, here's my recap of Rani Takes on the World, The Revenge of Wormwood, The Ghost of Bannerman Road. Rani recalls a dream she has had recently about Bannerman Road. We then have the theme tune. Rani and Clyde beg Luke to let them into 13 Bannerman Road. Luke reveals this house is now owned by Unit. Rani mentions Sarah Jane. Luke apologises. Luke convinces Rani and Clyde to go to Unit HQ. Clyde and Rani visit Unit HQ. Clyde reveals his theory around the crown jewels. Rani and Clyde learn of multiple thefts surrounding alien artifacts. Rani works out that the person stealing these objects are stealing specific objects. Clyde mentions CCTV. A woman reveals a trend between the suspects currently being looked at. Rani knows that this woman needs her and Clyde's help. Clyde sings a part of the Ghostbusters theme tune until Rani stops him. Rani mentions Torchwood and the Doctor. This woman agrees to Rani's conditions. Rani agrees to this woman's condition. Someone corrects Rani on their rank. Clyde explains several security system errors. Clyde corrects Major Hadley about what his job involves. Rani questions the wife of one of the suspects. The wife mentions this suspect recently losing his dad. Someone apologises due to the current picture quality. Clyde corrects this person. Clyde believes the suspects were ghosts. Rani questions the brother of another suspect. Clyde eats some food. Rani reveals the trend she found after questioning loved ones of several suspects. Rani and Clyde learn of the accommodation available to them at Unit. Clyde and Rani agree that they have separate rooms. Rani and Clyde discuss regrets. Clyde and Rani seem to agree on the nature of their relationship. Rani and Clyde disagree. Clyde mentions Chelsea and Blackburn football clubs. What am I up to? Oh yes, Rani apologises. Rani says goodnight to Clyde. Rani mistakes someone for Clyde. Rani overcompensates her feelings towards her and Clyde's relationship. A scene from a previous mission involving Rani, Clyde and Luke can be heard. Clyde seems to regret not asking out Rani. Mrs. Wormwood seems to be communicating with Clyde. Rani inspects one of the suspects. Rani mentions time travel. Mrs. Wormwood mentions being lost in the time vortex. Mrs. Wormwood mentions Sontarans. Mrs. Wormwood questions Clyde about his decision to not ask out Rani. Mrs. Wormwood believes Clyde still wants to ask out Rani. Clyde disagrees with this. Mrs. Wormwood shows Clyde an alternative version of his life, which involves Rani and Clyde being in a romantic relationship during several parts of their life, including having a child and growing old together. Mrs. Wormwood asks Clyde a question. Clyde reveals the one thing he would change about his life. Mrs. Wormwood convinces Clyde to ask his past self to ask Rani out. Clyde and Rani agree to get a tea together. Mrs. Wormwood tricks Clyde. Mrs. Wormwood reveals Clyde is now a paradox. Someone begs for Rani's help. This person then seems to die. Clyde forces himself to wake up. Mrs. Wormwood reveals only Clyde can see her, as well as convincing his past self to ask out Rani stays changed. Mrs. Wormwood believes Clyde is useful. Mrs. Wormwood gives Clyde an order. Rani expresses her hesitations in someone's future actions. Rani and Major Hadley discover Clyde is currently sleepwalking and can now walk through walls. Major Hadley mentions the Black Archive. Major Hadley explains what is contained within the Black Archive. Rani convinces Major Hadley to let her enter the Black Archive to try and get Clyde to return to his usual self. Clyde begs for Rani's help. Clyde asks Rani to not follow him. Major Hadley reveals bullets don't work on Clyde. Clyde talks to Mrs. Wormwood about this. Mrs. Wormwood threatens Clyde. Mrs. Wormwood orders Clyde to drive a car. Rani knows that Clyde is planning on going to 13 Bannerman Road. Rani informs Major Hadley of this. Mrs. Wormwood reveals she is also controlling some of the unit's soldiers. Mrs. Wormwood isn't controlling Luke. Luke knows something is wrong with Clyde. Clyde apologises. Rani and Major Hadley arrive at 13 Bannerman Road. Major Hadley compliments one of the unit soldiers. Rani finds Luke unconscious. Rani chooses to enter 13 Bannerman Road to try and save Clyde. Clyde threatens Rani. Rani mentions Mr. Smith. Clyde makes Major Hadley and Rani become unconscious. Rani confronts Mrs. Wormwood. Rani questions Mrs. Wormwood. Mrs. Wormwood mentions the Black Archive as well as Sarah Jane. Mrs. Wormwood knows Rani has doubts. Mrs. Wormwood gives Rani a look at some of her alternative lives. Rani knows what Mrs. Wormwood is up to. Rani believes she has no regrets. Mrs. Wormwood wakes up Rani. Rani attempts to get Clyde to keep fighting. Rani plans on attempting to save the world as well as Clyde. Mrs. Wormwood mentions the time vortex. Rani remembers an alternate reality. Mrs. Wormwood insults Clyde. Mrs. Wormwood shows Rani Clyde's current form. Mrs. Wormwood blackmails Rani. Mrs. Wormwood informs Rani that she is currently in her personal past. Mrs. Wormwood believes Rani and Clyde should get together. Rani outsmarted Mrs. Wormwood. Mrs. Wormwood insults Rani. Mrs. Wormwood warns Rani. Rani attempts to wake up Clyde. Rani believes she loves Clyde. Clyde wakes up. Clyde hears Rani's feelings towards him. Rani mentions Mrs. Wormwood. Clyde lies to Rani. Rani and Clyde reunite with Luke. Major Hadley wakes up. Rani apologises. Major Hadley wants statements from Rani, Clyde and Luke. Luke, Clyde and Rani discuss Sarah Jane, and Clyde mentions this range's title. And that is my recap of Rani Takes on the World, The Return of Wormwood, The Ghost of Bannerman Road. Now there is no return because as of time of recording there hasn't been any other sets announced, and I think in one of the Big Finish podcasts Nick Breeze kind of confirmed that it didn't do as well as they hoped, so they aren't doing any more, but I think they did say that if people buy them, then they might consider it. But actually now on to tomorrow's episode where I will be recapping Jenny the Doctor's Daughter Series 3 Saving Time reboot. So here is the trailer for Jenny the Doctor's Daughter Series 3 Saving Time.
Surrender or die.
From Big Finish Productions, the worlds of Doctor Who, Jenny, the Doctor's Daughter, Saving Time.
There is something here, a loose thread in the web of time, and I can feel it screaming out to me. Somewhere long ago, something is very wrong.
Jenny, help me.
I've managed to get myself into a spot of trouble.
No, I wouldn't believe it.
Innovative evolutionary vision, I like to call it.
Oh, Jezebel Gleiss. Well, here we are, face to face.
She's everywhere, all powerful, all seeing, all knowing, with nowhere to hide, and believe me, I've tried.
I thought you'd be more impressive for the daughter of a Time Lord.
Well, buckle up. I am full of surprises.
Of course I'm scared. Are you not listening to me?
I am now.
You're insane.
I'm the richest person in the universe, Noah, which makes me the most powerful being who ever lived.
Oh, I'm getting knocked over far too much today.
I am your execution.
No, you are my friend.
He's in pain. He'll break through the glass. I'll up the anesthetic.
A little then, so he stops fighting.
I hate her.
That's a given, but what's the plan?
I love that you assume that there is a plan.
Make sure that Florence O'Connor buys a cheese and pickle sandwich rather than a chicken Caesar. Do you think you can manage that?
You're kidding me.
All the details are in the document.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
I am shocked.
I did not see that coming at all.
That was the trailer for Jenny the Doctor's Daughter Series 3 Saving Time. And I just showed you that because in tomorrow's episode I'll be recapping Jenny the Doctor's Daughter Series 3 Saving Time reboot. But back to this episode, let me know what you thought of Rani Takes on the World, The Revenge of Wormwood, The Ghost of Bannerman Road if you listened to it. My recap, if you didn't, you can put your thoughts on both of those in the comments below, as well as anything else you want to cover the channel, such as any previews or recaps. Put those in the comments below as well. Remember, you can also like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode for my recap of Jenny the Doctor's Daughter Series 3 Saving Time Reboot. Goodbye.